What's up, guys? Final score back again. How you guys doing today? I hope everybody's good. It is cold. It's a little chilly out there. It's about to get colder tomorrow. I think the high is supposed to be in the 40s. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I do not like cold weather. If you and I don't like really hot weather either. So don't get up there. Well, you wish for this. No, I didn't. Give me 70-degree weather all year long, and I will be perfectly fine. I don't care. I don't care. Everybody, well, you can't kill the bugs. I can kill the bugs with bug spray. So just to give me 70 degrees all year long and where I can sit on my porch and not worry about anything. Worry about, oh, it's too cold to go outside. It's too hot to go outside. Light bills, paying for gas. Yeah, give me a break. Just give it where all I can do is raise my windows and turn my fans on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my rant for today. Today, Final Scores back. We're going to do our Week 10 recap. Some surprises in Week 10. A big surprise. Yeah, ding dong, the witch is dead. The 72 Miami Dolphins are happy because there is no team that will finish undefeated this year as Philadelphia got knocked off Monday night, which uh, unfortunately we didn't pick that, but we had been saying for a while that they're not going to win it. They're not going to go undefeated. They were not one of them dominant teams that's going to go undefeated.
hmm
With me, of course, is my guru, the guy that I mean, what can you say about this guy? I can say a whole lot. He's a Giants fan. That's the only drawback Matthew's got is a Giants fan. But
Only
anyway,
Steelers fans will
with
say
me
that.
tonight, as always, Matthew Bazemore. What's up, bud?
What's up, Stevie? You mentioned that it was chilly outside, and somebody told me this morning before I went outside for work that it was chilly. And this me being fat, I went out there with a bowl and spoon, but I had it all wrong.
Thought you were gonna
You
get
know,
some chili, huh?
I did. They said it was
Chili
chilly outside, and
outside.
I'm like,
Chili
oh man, I
outside.
gotta go get me
Yeah,
a bowl and
that
spoon.
boy.
Ah, I was
Okay.
so excited, but
Hold
then it
on.
hit me.
Let me do the little.
Do do.
Yeah, yeah. So Matthew with our dose of humor on the final score tonight.
That's
Uh,
right. I figured I'd do that than a Steelers joke.
hey, Steelers ain't no joke this week. I'm wearing my
Exactly. I
I'm
can't do
wearing
that.
my TJ Watt jersey tonight.
I thought maybe it was
TJ
gonna be
Watt
the
makes.
Lamar Jackson jersey.
I've got plenty of toilet paper, bud.
So that ain't no problem.
Toilet paper. So I don't have to worry about any of those. And I'm not just saying Lamar Jackson. I'm talking about a Baltimore Ravens jersey. You won't see that unless I'm running low on toilet paper.
Use it for a puppy pad for your dogs.
Exactly. Exactly. Get it some good use.
That's right.
Anyway, a lot happened this week. Um, Reading a recap this week, of course, and we'll get to the game in a few minutes. But of course, if you haven't heard, or you've been under a rock, or you don't follow sports, Philadelphia Eagles get knocked off Monday night by Taylor Heineke and the Washington Commanders. I almost said Redskins,
But
but
Stevie,
now
didn't I call that?
you did. You said
I
you
called it,
Matthew texted me and said, "I'm just saying, Philly better watch out for upset."
and I said it last week on the
You did.
podcast. I'm like,
You
look, I'm
sure did.
choosing Philly. I'm choosing Philly because they're 7-1, but
Oh, you know they
I
were
I
7-0 then.
I mean 7-0. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, it's because they're 7-0. But I said Washington might just beat them.
I'll tell you this. I got an Eagles fan at work that for weeks we talked about. I was like, you look at the schedule ahead, see what you think about being undefeated. If y'all can go undefeated. Oh, we ain't gonna go undefeated, but we might lose one game. And I said, well, if you had to pick, who would that one game you think would be? And when we were going through the schedule, he didn't say anything about the Commanders. It was like, oh no, we ain't gonna lose to them. There ain't no way we can lose with them. They're terrible. So guess
Everybody
what?
was saying that. Everybody was saying that.
At Philly too. At
Yeah,
Philly.
at Philly.
Wow. Now here's my thing. And if you're an Eagles fan, no, this ain't gonna happen. Does this start a down? a down a downward spiral for the Eagles. I mean, who do they have this week? Are they off this week? No,
Um,
no, they've got the Colts this week. So
yeah,
but Jeff Saturday could get on a hot streak. Won his first game. Nobody ever thought that would happen. But
yeah,
yeah. So you never know. You never know. This thing could start a trend. And I told the Eagles fan, he goes, "Oh no, we're good. We're good." I said, "Y'all could end up finishing 8-9. Y'all win the first 8 and then lose the last 9." And he kind of looked at me funny, like, "You better not jinx us. That better not happen." So, but wouldn't that be something though to win the first 8 and lose the last 9?
wouldn't bother me any.
I know as a Giants fan in the NFC
Yeah,
East, I know that would not bother you
nope.
because right now, if I'm not mistaken, y'all are in second place by
Yes,
yourself in the NFC East right now because of Dallas. What happened to Dallas this past week?
yes. Green Bay helped us out big time.
Which another upset there.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dallas is now third, and guess who is creeping up though in the NFC East though? Washington. Washington's at
yeah.
500 now and getting Chase Young back this week.
They 5-5.
Yep. And also, guess who's scheduled to come off injury reserve and is cleared to play this week? Carson Wentz.
I
So
wouldn't do it.
ask my next question, Matthew.
Nope.
You people out there, answer too. If Carson Wentz is cleared to play, like they say he is, do you start Carson Wentz and put Taylor Heineke back on the bench?
No,
I
I
agree.
wouldn't. I
If
mean, I
I'm
like Carson Wentz. I wish he could do better, but Taylor Heineke performs so much more with
what
Washington.
over the last 2 years since he's been playing, and watching them this year, it's no coincidence. I don't even know what their record was with Wentz in there. That'd be interesting to see. But I know Heineke's got to have a better record as far as a starting quarterback now. Let's look. Hold on. Let me
Got
see
to.
here. Okay, so he gets a win over Philadelphia. All right, show me the schedule here. They lost a tight one to Minnesota, 8-1 Minnesota, who had to come from behind in the fourth quarter. And I'm trying to pull up the rest of the schedule here. So that right there, you played the number one team in the NFL close. So
Hmm.
they lost. Wentz beat the Jaguars. He lost to the Lions, lost to the Eagles. Was he out with the Cowboys? Isn't that when he went out?
When he got hurt, yeah, I think so.
So if he gets hurt at the Cowboys game, let's say Heineke starts against Tennessee, they lose 21-17. They beat the Bears 12-7. They beat the Packers 23-21. They beat the Colts by 1. So as a starter, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 4-1 as a starter.
Not
No,
bad.
4-2. 4-2, excuse me. Because the
Still
Titans
not bad.
game. And this guy, to me, and you Commanders fans or whatever you want to call yourself, Redskins fans, whatever you want to call yourself, football team, don't you guys think, from what I've seen of them play, and I didn't see much of them play with Wentz, but the highlights, it looks like the team plays harder for Heineke than they do for Wentz.
Yes.
I may be wrong there. That's just my opinion. It looks like they play harder for him, and they show more confidence in him. So my thing to Ron Rivera, and I'm not even going to talk about Daniel Snyder because he probably don't even know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Um, why spend all that money? And I didn't understand this either. But one of my good friends, Lynn Bryant, who is a diehard Washington fan, has been since I've known him, and we've known each other since elementary school. I asked him this question: why spend all that money on Wentz and not start Heineke? And Lynn's response was he was concerned Heineke's how fragile he is, getting hurt, which he does have. He does have that reputation of getting hurt a lot. But I like the kid. I
Me
think.
too.
I mean, I like. He's a gunslinger. He's not. He will try to force things sometimes that he probably doesn't need to. He's in that Brett Favre mode. He's not as good as Brett Favre was, but he's in that Brett Favre mode where he's he's gonna try to throw the ball to places that he's trying to make it fit. And if it works, he's great. If it doesn't, he looks like a fool. But that's just that kind of quarterback he is. He tries to
Yeah.
make things happen.
And because of that, he threw what 2 or 3 interceptions that game.
Yeah, yeah.
I think 3. But still, I mean, other
I
than
mean,
the interceptions, he didn't look bad.
they move the ball. They
They
move the
moved the
ball.
ball,
The
yeah.
offense looks a lot like they know more. They're more in tune with each other when he's in there. Um,
Right.
so I don't know. I really think you don't. There's no question. You keep Heineke in there. You don't even Ron Rivera. You don't even flinch when you think about it. And this may end up being. I'm not saying Heineke's going to turn it around, but he got him to the playoffs. He helped get him to the playoffs. I'll put it that way. And then last year was a little letdown, but he's got him on a hot streak again. A big upset, and I'm not trying to jump to conclusions. I'm not saying, oh gosh, this Washington is going to win the NFC East. No, I'm not saying that, but they are playing better right now with Heineke in the lineup.
They've been looking good for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
Past few
it's been
weeks,
a lot of
not
close.
just.
I mean, they should have beat. They really should have beat Minnesota, and
Oh yeah.
it was one of those, like we talked about, a mistake he made. He forced a pass. There was an interception after. I think they cut it to 17-13. The Vikings had cut it to 17-13. He threw it and deep in his own territory, throws an interception, gives them great field position, and Minnesota scores a touchdown to win the game. But yeah, and that stuff like that's going to happen. The more experience he gets, maybe the better he'll
Definitely.
get. Who knows? So looking at some of the stuff. Okay, NCAA football. NCAA football. I don't even want to talk about football without talking about what went on at the University of Virginia Sunday night.
Man,
Um,
super sad.
our prayers definitely go out to the University of Virginia, the football team, to those kids, uh, families and friends. I've just saw that Virginia was supposed to play. I think it was Coastal Carolina, and they can't. Of course, they canceled the game. That was supposed to be this weekend. They canceled the game. There's no way you could put them guys on the field
No.
right now. And there's even a chance that they'll cancel the last game. They've got another game against rival Virginia Tech, and if I'm that school, unless the players came out and say, "Look, we want to do this. We really want to do this," I would not. I would not have a problem with them canceling that last game too. And I know Virginia Tech's had some crawls up their butts about schools canceling games, but if you give them any slack about canceling that game this year, Virginia canceling the game with you this year, then there's a special place somewhere for you. But yeah, I would not be surprised. It's just senseless, dude. And I mean, the guy's in custody. Um, I haven't heard. I've heard something about, and this is just hearsay, a hazing incident that may have led to it. The guy wasn't on the team. I think he was off the team now. But they also said that he had been on the local police department's radar for having a gun at school. and he wouldn't cooperate with the investigation into it. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, they should have done. You know, you don't want to say that. You don't know what happened. But if you got a guy that's got a gun on school and he's in your radar, you need to do something about it before something like this happens. And I hate it. I'm so sorry for those. Like I said, Virginia. Uh, Prayers and condolences to Virginia and to the families and friends of those three guys. You know, just senseless,
Yes,
senseless.
it is. So he was a former player.
Yeah, he was a former player. Apparently, he played. I think he played last year, if I'm not mistaken. And
Wow.
they had gone on a field trip or something to Washington D.C. And I want to say when they were coming off the bus, he shot him because there was looking at the new stuff, the crime scene was around a bus. So evidently he was waiting for him.
Yeah, to
So,
return.
but what do you? I don't know in that situation what you want to happen. Do you want a shooter like that does something senseless like this to take his own life, or do you want him to be taken in custody? And you know, I don't know. I don't know what's better there. I mean, you want to know his motive. You don't know what he was thinking, but you know, he's going to stay more than likely. More than likely, I don't know if I'm not up on who's got the death penalty or what, if it's even there
Yeah.
anymore. I know Virginia used to have that. He's probably going to get death penalty or he's going to get life in prison. He's going to sit there in prison for however long the rest of his life is. Uh, but, is that really these days? And I don't want to get political here, but I worked in a prison for 2 years. And I know they get their freedom took away. They're not able to come and go as they want to, but it's not like the old days of prison where it's rough. No, they have more rights
Yeah.
than the guys that are guarding them do, and they know it too. But that's another story.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you do there. What's the better situation? I mean, obviously he's got some problems. He had a problem with somebody, or he's got some mental problems that he needs help with. But it's not going to bring those three kids back. It's not going to make
Mm-mm.
those three kids' family feel better. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's just senseless to me.
It is. It made no sense, and it's sad that it's happening more and more
Yeah, I mean,
in
it's not
places.
just in the realm of football or college
Right.
sports. It happens a lot, and it's happened a
Yeah.
lot here lately. But it gets it gets I guess publicized so much on social media and TV that it kind of encourages to me others like, oh, look at that, he's getting all this attention. It kind of encourages them to do it.
Especially the ones who want attention and who's always
Yeah,
in need of attention because they haven't had a. I ain't gonna say that, but yeah.
I agree, bub. I agree.
Yeah.
Moving on, college football world. Nothing really changed there. Georgia's still number one. Watch my ECU Pirates go down Friday night in a really good game against Cincinnati at Cincinnati. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Cincinnati had some home cooking, a lot of home cooking for that game. There were several calls that were made a flag, and I can't. Here's my thing: you call it, referee throws a flag. You obviously saw something that made you think it was a penalty. Why? Why does somebody else automatically get to pick the flag up? Pass interference call. Guys hit like 2 seconds before the ball gets there. They call the flag. I don't know what the argument could have been to make it where they pick the flag up. Except, hey, they're paying us, so yeah, we can't
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. But yeah, Cincinnati gets the win. ECU played a great game. They're moving in the right direction. They're bowl eligible anyway, but that would have been a great win against Cincinnati. Another missed field goal. You hate to harp on that, but that was the difference in the game, too. 27-25. That field goal really, really cost us. But Carolina moves on 8-1 now. A big win against Wake Forest. And now Carolina is in the ACC championship. They clinched to be in the ACC championship game against Clemson, which I
And
think
watch Clemson go down.
I was getting ready to say.
Uh,
I think with the way Carolina's playing and the way Clemson's playing, I think it's a definitely winnable game for Carolina.
I think so too. I hope
It's
so.
not one of those games where you say, "Oh no, there's no way Carolina's going to uh, beat Clemson." No, there's a way. There's a good chance that they could beat Clemson.
I was talking to a Clemson fan today, and I told him, I said, "Hey, December 3rd, Clemson's going down." And
Oh, what do you have
he
to say
says,
to that?
I don't know about that. And you can't see, but you might not can see the real deal because Clemson's gonna beat y'all." And I'm like,
Oh,
all right.
that's not a definite thing.
I said,
It's not.
hold on a minute, we're hungry. We're hungry,
Carolina
man.
Carolina has done, from the start of the year where they played absolutely no defense at all to now where they are playing some defense. And Drake May, I mean, I've watched a little bit of this kid, and he is definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, no doubt about it.
Definitely, he's
I mean,
very impressive.
you're talking to an ECU fan here, ECU football fan, and Drake May. I mean, he's up there with any of these quarterbacks you got that they're talked about with the Heisman stuff. If he stays around at Carolina, that could be a dynasty in the making.
Oh yeah.
But enough of the Carolina football stuff. So before we move on to the NFL, I want to throw a shout out, and we haven't done this in a while, but about I don't know how long they've been open now. It's been a couple of months at least, maybe longer than that. This, I'm riding with my daughter. We're over in a Hosky, and if you're local, you know where a Hosky is. And she's like, I've heard about this hometown nutrition place, and I'm like, it's one of those health food stores. I ain't all about that. I mean, but we'll go in there because you want to go in there. She wanted to get, I think it was a protein shake. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. Let's go in there. So we get in there, and they've got these energy teas too, and they're not when I hear energy drinks or energy teas, I'm thinking monsters. And I'm gonna tell you, dude, more power to you guys if you can do the monster stuff like that. I can't do them. I've drank them before. I've done that 5 hour energy, and it makes me feel jittery. It doesn't do me any good. Makes me just feel jittery, and I can't stand it. But I gave this place a try, and they've got different flavors. Different flavored energy teas. They've got like different shakes, protein shakes. I got a sample, and I'm not usually a pumpkin spice guy, but they gave me a sample of a pumpkin spice shake the other day, and yeah, whew, man, it was great. But yeah, the energy drinks are my favorite over there. Like this last special they had was called Bonfire, but man, there's one that I get called Naughty, and I'm not talking about, oh, you're being naughty. I'm talking about like Nauti. But yeah, great. And I haven't had a bad drink there. I don't get the shakes. I get the drinks. I haven't had one bad yet. But if you guys want to check the ladies out over there, just as nice as they can be, you want to check them out over there in a Hosky, 903 East Memorial Drive. They're open, I think it's from like 7 to 2, Monday through Friday. And then they have pop-up hours sometimes. If you follow them on Facebook, you'll get an idea. They'll announce their pop-up hours. But yeah, they're just as nice as they can be. They know me and Mallory by now, and we're like, they know our routine that we're going to be over there at least once a week. I think one of them said the other day, if y'all don't come in a week, we're going to think something's wrong. I said, yeah, that's what and it's going to be something wrong if we don't come, if you don't see us for a week. But great atmosphere over there. Just check them out. If you know, they're over there beside Shules and a Hosky in the little shopping center. Shules is there. It's where the old, shoot, the old license plate place is, which I hear is opening back up in a Hosky. But yeah, check them out. Great stuff. We go there every week. I guarantee you you will not be disappointed if you go over there and tell them we sent you from the final score. All right, you got to get over there and get you next time you're back home, Matthew. You need to get your mom to take you over there for one.
I want to try it, yeah, because I like tea and stuff, and if it gives me
There,
energy, that's
I
even
mean,
better.
they've got like different stuff. Some helps with your heart. They get different flavors mixed together, and I mean, oh gosh, it's so good. There's one called and it was a special they had. I don't know if they keep it all the time. It was one called Fruit Loop. Oh my lord, it was so good, so good.
I bet it's good. I'm gonna try to go there over Pizza Inn, because
Yeah, but you got to get there before 2 because they
oh, they
these
close at
ladies.
2.
Yeah, 2 o'clock. They close
Okay,
at 2.
yeah,
Anyway,
I'll go.
all right. So let's get right into it. NFL. We talked about Washington. So now, what is going on in the NFL? I'm looking at some. I want to see if they've updated any of these stories. So the Saints are going to stick with Andy Dalton, quarterback, despite his struggles. Jameis Winston sitting back there, and he's been beat up a little bit. Uh, what about you, Matthew? Who you think? You go with Dalton or you go with Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston, um, Andy Dalton, I think I think his time is over, because he's up there, right?
Yeah, he's a
He's
little
up there in
old. He's
age.
old. He was in Cincinnati for a long time. We used to beat up on him
Yeah,
every year.
and even then with Cincinnati, he wasn't that impressive.
He put up numbers, but as far as winning the big games, we were always in his way as far as
Yeah,
playoffs and of course they all they always fell apart. It seemed like the later in the year they always fell apart. That playoff game they got with Vontez Burfict, who hit Antonio Brown and sent him spiraling down this path. I don't know if did you see. Speaking of Antonio Brown, did you see the he he sent out on social media screenshots of text messages between him and Tom Brady and him and Ben Roethlisberger.
I did not. What it say?
I mean, the Roethlisberger one was actually it must have been when they were getting along and they were doing so good because it was talking about how they were gonna uh, beat everybody wants to beat us and all this stuff and one of them was like one message said it kills me when people think we are at each other or something like that. But yeah, but the Brady one, I don't know if it was hard to tell if it was a message to Brady or from Brady, but it was pretty much telling him, you work so hard to get yourself back straight, and now you're hanging around with these unlike people you don't need to be hanging around with again, and you're going down that wrong path. So it sounded like it was from Brady to Brown, but I
Yeah,
couldn't be sure. Yeah, he screenshotted them and put them on social media. I'm telling you,
he's always doing something in the
this guy
outfield.
needs help, dude.
Yeah,
This guy needs help. He just he's it's got to be. I'm telling you, and I know there's no way to check, but you've got he's got to have CTE, and I think it was from uh, it was from that hit because after that hit, he's been cuckoo.
off the walls.
Yep. So, all right, let's get into this
But
recap.
back to your question,
Yeah.
Jameson Winston. I'd prefer Jameson Winston
Okay.
over Andy Dalton.
I think you want it's it's. I think, my opinion, I don't see where you're better off with either one. I mean, I think one's just as that it's the same thing you get with one. If the drawbacks for one or you've got different drawbacks from the other one, they equal out to me. I don't think there's an answer. I don't think the Saints have an answer at quarterback right now. I really don't. I think that's going to be something they're going to have to address in the draft coming up because you know,
Definitely, yeah. Because I mean, like you said, either both of them aren't that impressive, but over
no,
between the two, I'd take James and Winston
right. I got you. I
for
got you.
sure. But they definitely need to fix their quarterback issue because ever
Yes.
since Drew Brees left, the
Oh,
Saints ain't been the Saints.
no. The Saints have dropped back to the year too young to remember the Saints of the old days when the fans would show up with paper bags on their head and call themselves the Aints, not the Saints, the Aints. But yeah.
Saints ain't the Saints.
All right, so just do a little recap here. Thursday night game, last Thursday night while we were on the air, the Panthers and the Falcons. Now the Falcons were playing good ball. It got to what they were actually at one time tied for first in the NFC South, excuse me. And then you do something like this and lose to the Carolina Panthers.
After the Carolina Panthers done made all of them crazy moves, like getting rid of Christian McCaffrey, firing Frank Wright, I didn't
No,
expect
not
it.
Frank Reich. No, not Frank Reich.
Oh,
Matt
I
Rule.
meant Matt Rule. Yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, I would have never expected them to make a turnaround like that after all the moves that they've done.
No, I mean, PJ Walker at quarterback, which, and the way, like I said, I'll tell you who has carried the Panthers. Dante Foreman at running back. I mean, he's came on in the last couple of weeks. And maybe it was getting held back a little bit by McCaffrey, but I mean, how can you not play McCaffrey? I've said it for so
Right.
long. McCaffrey, and I think when we'll talk about this when we talk about the 49ers game, McCaffrey does not need to be the only back carrying the whole load, carrying the majority of the load. He needs to be in a system where it's 50-50. You
Yeah.
need to split. His body just can't take it. But Foreman finishes 31 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown. And everybody talking about Marcus Mariota is trash. I don't know what he did because I did not stay up for the whole game, but man, everybody the next day was saying there was a tweet going out saying Marcus Mariota was just arrested, and it looked like a cop picking up a trash can. So yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but anyway,
Yeah, I don't either.
Falcons and Panthers. Unfortunately, me and Matthew both picked the Falcons to win that. So stupid us. We put the
Yeah.
kiss of death on them. All right, so then they had the game in Germany, over in Munich, Germany, the Buccaneers and the Seahawks, and you knew that this was going to be all about Brady's never lost overseas and all this stuff. Well, he's still undefeated overseas, but Seattle just forgot how to play football for a half. And, everybody was talking about, I don't know if you heard this, Matthew, but one of them was talking about, I think Pete Carroll brought it up in his press conference, how bad the field was. And, I can see you complaining about a field and saying it gave them unfair advantage if the other team you're playing, if it's their home field.
Yeah.
But this is neither one of you's home field, and both teams were having problems with that field. I know Todd Bowles made a comment that a lot of them switched to longer cleats and were still sliding, so it was real slick. But they came out. Brady and company go up 14-0 at the half. I mean, it was scoreless first quarter, and then 14 points the second quarter, but then they only managed 7, which is all they needed in the second half, as they get the 21-16 win over the Seahawks. Tell you what, though, Geno Smith continues to impress. 23 for 33, 275 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. Enough to where he's probably on the outside looking in at MVP candidate right now. And who would have thought Geno Smith would be?
Yeah, not me, but he's looking good.
Brady.
He's actually fun to watch.
Yeah. Brady actually 22 for 29, 258 yards, 2 TDs, and interception. Fournette actually threw an interception trying to throw the ball to Brady in that game too. Yeah, and I put the kiss of death on Kenneth Walker a couple of weeks ago too. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago about where this guy come from at running back. Yeah, he hasn't done crap since. 10 carries, 17 yards in the game for the Seahawks. But yeah, and this is going to start like I said last week. We're going to hear it now. Oh, he's the GOAT. The GOAT's going on a roll again. He's back. He's back. Okay. All right. Whatever. We'll see. Still got a long ways to go. He might win the NFC South.
Yeah, he might, but he's still pushing 50.
Yeah. Well, he might win the NFC South, but I mean, right now it's like nobody wants to win the NFC South. It's like, okay, we're gonna get on top. Guess what? We're gonna start losing. We don't want it. But anyway, Browns and the Dolphins. Oh, poor Cleveland. You got Deshaun Watson actually comes back to practice this week. He's cleared to come back to practice. I guess he's cleared, whatever you want to call it. They definitely need him because this ain't working in Cleveland right now with Jacoby Brissett. Everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, they'll be okay. They'll win. They'll finish over 500 without Watson there." Well, there's no way. I think Watson can come back in week 11 against Houston, his old team. They're 3-6 now after the Dolphins just go off on them. 39-17, Dolphins get the win over the Browns. Tua, it still amazes me after what happened to him early in the year. The Buffalo game that they won, and then the next game against Cincinnati, they got killed where he got taken off, and it just amazes me he's putting up numbers, still putting up numbers.
Yeah, me too.
I thought this, I didn't think he would come back this strong, but 285 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions. And talking about in the MVP race, Tua is in the MVP race now. Looking at, I don't know. What do you do? What do you do with the Browns now? I mean, you didn't trade you didn't make a big trade, a big splash, like Kareem Hunt wanted to be traded because Nick Chubb's ahead of him, and Nick Chubb's not going anywhere. What do you do if you're Cleveland, though? Just wait for Watson?
I don't know, man. I would see what Watson would do first, but I don't think Watson's going to fix all their problems either.
They have no choice. They've got to take, what Watson there because all that money they paid him, good Lord.
But yeah.
And the Dolphins, first place in the AFC East, would have never thought it. But yeah, first place in the AFC East at 7-3. Jeez. All right. Cleveland is 3-6. Now they're third in the AFC North. They actually hold the tiebreaker over Pittsburgh now, who has the same record. We'll talk about that in a minute. It pains me to talk about this next game. Broncos and the Titans. Denver has all the makings of a great team. They had good defense till the trade deadline. They had good defense. They had what's that guy's name? Was it Chubb? It was another Chubb. Now he's gone. Russell Wilson, quarterback. But man, this has got to be the biggest disappointment in the NFL this year. And
Yeah.
the Titans, the Titans just do enough to win. That's all I'm going to say. They do enough to win, and whether that they can get to the playoffs again and do what they can, I don't know, because they're probably going to win the AFC South. But Titans get a win 17-10 over the Broncos. Russell Wilson did have a touchdown, but he also threw an interception, 286 yards, 21 for 42. I was saying at the start of the year, maybe it's just going to take him some time to adjust to Denver, to adjust to this offense, but they're running plays that he's familiar with. What is the problem in Denver with Russell Wilson?
I don't think it's where he wants to be.
Well, I mean, evidently he wants to be there because he signed that big
He agreed
contract.
to it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Russell Wilson, he just doesn't look comfortable. Just like he does not look comfortable in that offense. I don't know. He's got weapons around him. I don't know what the answer is. What's the problem? Is Russell Wilson, because this is a big decline from last year with the Seahawks to this year as a Bronco. And the Broncos put things in place for him too. But it's not working. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but scored the second half, didn't score any in the second half. So something is definitely wrong. I mean, I don't know if he's got an injury that snagged him or something. I know that was a problem with a hamstring, but he was playing bad before that. It's just not getting any better for Denver right now, and I don't think it will the rest of the year. You've got the AFC West is supposed to be a competitive division, but I thought it would be the best division in football this year, but it's far from it. As the Broncos fall to 3-6, third in the AFC West, the Titans are 6-3, first in the AFC South. So let's see. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this game: the Saints and the Steelers. I still call it Heinz Field. I don't care what you guys call it. So getting back, let me look at our picks. I kind of got off that. So we pretty much picked the same. We missed the Falcons. We missed the Seahawks. We got the Titans and the Dolphins. So now here comes one where we picked different. Matthew didn't want to pick the Steelers because he said he didn't want to jinx us. But, yeah. Steelers come out and, I'm not saying Steelers by any means they're going to get on a hot streak and they're going to win the freaking Super Bowl or anything like that. I'm not one of them. Now, I am wearing my Steelers jersey this week, of course, because we won. And I said we, and some people have problems when you pull for a team and you say we, and you're like, you don't play for them. Okay, whatever. Just go home. Go home and do whatever you're going to do anyway. But Pittsburgh came out on offense, were able to move by over 200 yards rushing, which I have not seen anywhere close to that all year from Pittsburgh. 217 rushing yards, held the Saints to 29 rushing yards, almost 400 yards total offense. The Saints had just under 200. 6 sacks. Was that for Pittsburgh? Maybe so. Anyway, 2 interceptions by Dalton. Dalton threw 2 interceptions. Pickett didn't throw any. He also didn't throw a touchdown. But Najee Harris, 20 carries for 99 yards. Another one making a big contribution to is George Pickens, the rookie wide receiver from Georgia. He scores on a 1-yard run, and he catches 3 catches for 32 yards. But he makes big plays, dude. I think this guy's got confidence, and this guy's got the ability to make some big plays. And I think if Matt Canada will get out of Pittsburgh and somebody will come in there and want to open up the offense and go downfield, I think it'll be all right. A lot of talk this week about, some of the Steelers fans think Pickett is not improving and he's not going to be any good and all this, whatever. It's his first year, dude. Just give him a break.
Yeah.
But the Steelers get the win 20-10 over the Saints. Steelers now at 3-6. And they're dead last in the AFC North, but they're tied for last. Saints are 3-7, fourth in the AFC South. Like we said, there's a big problem with Saints with their quarterback position, but still, there's more problems at quarterback. The quarterback is the main problem right now in New Orleans. So they're going to definitely
address that.
Yeah, it's hard to replace a legend like that.
Definitely.
All right, so I picked the Steelers. Matthew picked the Saints, so I'm up one right now. +1. Well, that'll change. That'll change soon. Lions and the Bears. Man, and Bears don't win this game. I'll go ahead and say that. Bears do not win this game. But the Bears as a team right now on offense, it would have took 3 games earlier in the year for them to get close to 30 points. Something has changed in that offense. Justin Fields is using his feet like we talked about last week. Justin Fields using his feet, and it's made a difference. They don't win this game, but they put some points. This was a good game. The Lions finally get lucky enough that where there were several games where they had leads or they were on the verge of winning and blew it, but they finally hang on to win one of these close games, and they get the 31-30 win behind 21 fourth quarter points. So, yeah. So Chicago was up 24-10 in the fourth quarter and blew it. So it was not Fields. I don't think it was Fields' fault. He did throw a pick 6 that figured into it, but Fields made a lot of things happen. I'll give credit. Where I was down on Fields earlier in the year, I'm not so down on him anymore. I'm not. He's creeping over the 50% mark for me right now. I don't know what Jared Goff, 19 for 26, 236 yards of TD, no interceptions, but the Lions hang on to win 31-30. And I'll give Matthew credit. Matthew picked the Lions to win this game. I picked the Bears, so we're even again. All right. Wahaha. Yeah, go ahead. The craziest game of the year so far. Matthew texted me. This was when it really hadn't got crazy. It was crazy, but it hadn't got crazy yet. Matthew said, this Vikings-Bills game is crazy. And I was like, yes, it is. And it just got crazier after that. I think it was like we did the kiss of death before. I think we did the kiss of crazy on this one. But, yeah, Bills and Vikings. Last week we talked about it, and it didn't look like at the time it was very doubtful that Josh Allen was going to play with that elbow injury. But he comes out and plays, and you notice early on, I don't know if you noticed, they ran the ball a lot more at the start of the game. And the only passes were like quick passes, short passes that Allen was throwing. And I think that was just they didn't want to take a chance with that elbow.
Mm-hmm.
But they jump out to a 24-10 lead at the half. And I was like, okay, they're going to win this. There's no doubt about it. 27-10. And then Minnesota just decides, Minnesota and Justin Jefferson go crazy. Probably one of the greatest catches I've seen in NFL history. I've seen some good ones over the last 3 or 4 years, or maybe longer than that with OBJ. Justin Jefferson is amazing. One-handed catch in the air, comes down with it. Unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Just YouTube or whatever you do on social media, TikTok or whoever. Justin Jefferson, incredible catch. And this guy is probably right now, no doubt about it, the best wide receiver in football. I don't know who you could put up against and say he was better. 10 catches, 193 yards, and a touchdown. But let's get to the crazy part. So let's see. There's a 4th and goal. And it's was it? No, it wasn't tied up. It was
It was like a 2 or 3 point game on it.
yeah. It was like a 3-point game or 4-point game, something like that. Minnesota's going for it on 4th and goal. They come up short. They come up like at maybe a yard, maybe not even a yard, maybe half a yard short of the goal line. So Buffalo takes over, and here's all they've got to do is just run the ball out. A bad snap exchange between Josh Allen, Buffalo center, and Kendricks recovers the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. So now the Vikings up 30 to 27 with less than 40 seconds left. Buffalo goes down the field, gets in field goal range, and honestly had a chance to win it. They were in the range where they could have took some shots at the end zone. They took a couple shots, but nothing happened, and then they decided to go ahead and kick the field goal, go into overtime, and Minnesota ends up getting the field goal on their possession. Buffalo goes down the field, gets in scoring range, and Josh Allen throws his second interception for the day, and the Minnesota Vikings get the win 33-30 in overtime. Probably the game of the year so far for me. I don't know about you, Matthew, but probably the game of the year. I mean, this was back and forth. I don't know. A lot of people were down in Josh Allen after the game, but the guy stepped up. He's playing through this injury. You know, you don't know. Who knows? He may play this week. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about he won't going to play. But, yeah, Josh Allen, he throws 2 interceptions, one costly in overtime, but 330 yards, 29 for 43. Kirk Cousins doesn't fare that much better. 357 yards, 1 TD, 2 interception. But he gets the W, and it's because of Justin Jefferson. I mean, Dalvin Cook had a good game, 14 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. But Minnesota is 8-1. That's right. You heard me right. Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins are 8-1. And they lost a close game, I think, to Green Bay early in the year, or they would be 9-0 right now. Buffalo follows to 6-3, and now everybody is ready to write Buffalo off. A couple weeks ago, they were Super Bowl contenders. Now everybody's ready to write them off as not even contending anymore, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, not me.
They're third, believe it or not, third in the AFC East now. The Jets in second, the Dolphins in first. So this AFC East has turned out to be a really good division this year. And we both picked the Vikings to win. That was one of the games I had the asterisk beside because, like, if Josh Allen plays, I might think different. But guess what? I was wrong on both occasions. All right, so next up, who we got next? Texans and the Giants. Matthew, if y'all lost this game, I probably would have disowned you from the final score.
Final score.
Yes, I would have disowned you from the final score. And
I'm gonna tell you something, Stevie. It was a win. Giants got the win.
Yeah,
But it wasn't a pretty win, not in my opinion, considering who we were playing.
exactly.
I didn't want to underestimate them,
No, you don't want to do that. You're right.
but
7-3
again,
at the half.
yeah,
And looking, Daniel Jones has a good game. I mean, I didn't see this game. I don't know if you did or if you heard what
yeah,
what made it so close because Daniel Jones has a good game, 2 TDs, no interception. Saquon has a great game, 35 carries, 152 yards, and 1 TD. If we didn't think he was back before, I think Saquon is back. I mean, he's back to his old self.
well,
What
they're over. I think they're overplaying Saquon. I mean, that's a lot.
35 carries? Yeah, that is a lot for a
Yeah,
guy that's just
that's a
coming off
lot.
so many injuries.
Yeah, they're depending too much on him because our wide receivers are trash, except Darius Slayton.
When he only had 3 catches, but 95 yards and a touchdown. So
Yeah, but he got that 50-yard some
yeah,
pass and
it was
that
54
touchdown.
yard touchdown. Yeah, so that was the
Yeah.
majority of it right there on one catch.
Mhm.
But and it's like we talk about we talked about this a lot with the Giants. They ain't always the pretty wins, but the Giants are finding ways to win. And
Yeah.
as we talk about Minnesota at 8-1, who would have thought? The Giants are 7-2. They're a game back in the NFC East right now, second place. Who would have thought that?
Not me.
So,
Not
no,
yet. I mean, it's
I,
Brian Dable's first year. I think. Yeah, his first
yeah.
year. I thought it was gonna be a little sloppier than this, but it's still sloppy. But it's looking good comparing to previous years with Dave Patrick. What's his name? Pat. That's how irrelevant he is now. What's his name? Pat Shermer.
Come on
Pat Shermer.
now, you
Pat Shermer.
Shermer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you're the Giants fan, and you already forgot him that quick. It was that bad, huh?
And he was worse than Judge.
Yeah. Oh, geez,
Joe
Joe
Judge.
Judge.
Yeah.
Every time I hear his name, I think of Beavis and Butthead for some reason. Mike Judge. Mike Judge was the guy that did Beavis and
Yeah.
Butthead. Yeah. So Giants, we both picked the Giants to win. So we're still even. Still even.
Yeah.
So Matthew's happy his Giants won this week.
That's right. We're
And
gonna
I'm
go Steelers
happy my
next week.
Steelers won this week. So the Colts and the Raiders. Jeff Saturday's first head coaching debut, unless he coached high school. He's never coached in college, never coached in the pros, but for some reason Jim Irsay hires him as a head coach. And I don't know if you heard Bill Cowher, former Pittsburgh Steelers coach, on the pregame show, calling his hiring a disgrace. I was like, wow. I mean, it's. I think it's a.
Disgrace.
I think it's bad. It's like a slap in the face to a lot of these guys that, like, for instance, Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs, offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. He's been up for head coaching jobs over the last 4 or 5 years and hadn't got it yet. He's put his time in and has not got it. But this guy doesn't even coach college, not even a coordinator job in college or a coordinator job in the NFL, and he gets a head coaching job. How fair is that? It's not fair. It's really not fair. But guess what?
No.
Jeff Saturday gets his first win as head coach with a 25-20 win over the Raiders. I mean, Matt Ryan's back in the starting lineup. He did that. And they had to come from behind a little bit. It was back and forth, but still, what is wrong with the Raiders? This is another team. They were supposed to be contending for the AFC West crown. And I got news for you, Raider fans. You're 2-7. As much as some of you want to talk about my Steelers sucking, guess what? We were supposed to suck. You guys are worse than us now. Would
And
not
the
be
Raiders,
surprised, Matthew, if they lose this game come up Sunday against the Broncos. Would not be surprised if Josh McDaniel is already fired.
I would fire him because it's no reason. Raiders got weapons.
Yes.
It's no reason. It's no reason why they are 2-7.
Well, and now your quarterback and your star wide receiver are coming out pretty much doubting you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not good. Something's going to have to change, and it may be Josh McDaniels. If they keep losing, he may get a reprieve because they're playing the Broncos this week. But if they keep losing, he's only been there a year, not even a year yet, but he may be on the hot seat. I think his seat is warm right now.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
good then.
Raiders
If it ain't.
fall to 2-7. And Jonathan Taylor, big difference for the Colts this week. He comes back off an injury, 22 carries, 147 yards, a touchdown with the Colts. Jeff Saturday gets his first win. So, what do we know? Jim Irsay might know something. Wouldn't it be funny if he got on a hot streak and just they ran the table the rest of the way out? It would show how much we knew.
Like we said last week, it's rather going to be an idiot move or a genius move. And
Somebody
right
he's going
now,
to yeah. Right now he's
it's
looking
looking
like a
like
genius.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jacksonville
Yeah.
at Kansas City. And of course, me and Matthew both picked the Raiders, so we got that wrong. So we're still even. Jacksonville at Kansas City. I mean, this was Jacksonville. Okay, they had their time, I guess, but and so a lot of people are saying after this week, Trevor Lawrence looked like he's really coming of age, and he may. 259 yards, 2 TDs, and intercept, but he's gone up against Gold Jacket, Patrick Mahomes, 4 TDs for 1 interception, 331 yards, and your boy Kadarius Toney catches a touchdown, Matthew, and throws some shade at the Giants.
I know he called a touchdown, but I ain't see you throwing shit at the Giants.
They came out and said something. I didn't finish the article, but they said he was kind of throwing shade at the Giants, but. Let it
Fair
go,
enough.
dude. Just you're on
Yeah,
Kansas
yeah.
City now. Wouldn't it be funny if Kansas City ended up playing the Giants in the Super Bowl?
And the Giants win. Yeah.
I didn't go that far, but looking at some of the numbers, not really. Pretty much a Mahomes show again, of course. But there was a I had to talk about my boy Juju. I should have wore his jersey tonight. Prayers are with Juju because he took a shot, and it was supposed to be a flag. So it was a flag thrown, and the referee picked it up, saying it was shoulder. It was a shoulder to helmet hit, but they had to take him off. He was pretty shook up, and I know Mahomes came out talking about enough's enough. The NFL needs to do something about some of these hits, and he was upset about the flag being picked up, but. Juju, we got your back, buddy, even though you're not a Steeler anymore. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler. The Chiefs get the win, 27-17. 7-2, first in the AFC West. The Jaguars followed 3-7, third in the AFC South. And, yes, we both picked the Chiefs. We're not stupid.
No.
Let's see here. Who we got next, buddy? Cowboys and the Packers. And you talk about another great game.
It was a good game.
For you Cowboy fans say anything, I want to go ahead and tell you from the bottom of my heart, your players didn't lose that game for you. No.
The coach.
Your idiot coach lost that game for you. McCarthy, how in the world do you not try to kick that field goal and go for it on fourth down in overtime and pass the ball? He was like, well, we thought we'd get a pass interference call. Guess what? I mean, if I went, I'm a coach. If I did that every time, well, I thought I'd get this. You don't think about a play like that. You just go out there, put the points on the board in overtime, and then you try to hold Green Bay to just a field goal. Yeah, it was a 52-yard field goal. I know, but still, you gave them. You would. I mean, if you missed it, you gave them pretty much the same field position you would have as you did on that fourth down play, turnover on downs.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, guys, and I know some Cowboy fans know it. Some Cowboy fans that drank the Kool-Aid. Dak is not your answer. Dak is not going to take you to a Super Bowl unless he's buying y'all all tickets. That's the only way he's going to take you to a Super Bowl. I'm sorry to say it, but he just didn't look, don't say
interception at the first.
Threw 2 interceptions, and they scored 14 points off of it. So it's 14-14 at halftime. Then Dallas comes out in the third quarter, pulls ahead by 14, and you're like, okay, this Dallas is going to win this. They've made the mark. Dallas's run defense was horrible. Aaron Jones, 24 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Did you see his little grab when he scored his touchdown in the end zone? I guess he was doing what's his name they used to play for Seattle, the running back, the Skittle guy.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, yeah, he was doing his tribute to Marshawn, and a lot of people were talking about that the next day. But Aaron Rodgers only threw it about 20 times, but he had 224 yards, 3 TDs, no interception, and most of that was to rookie Christian Watson. I don't know if you remember, because they showed it and talked about it about 1,000 times on this game. Christian Watson, first play of the year against Minnesota, dropped a wide open 75-yard, would have been a wide open 75-yard touchdown pass, dropped it, hit him right in the hands. But he has a coming out party. He has a couple of drops early in the game, but ends up coming up big. 3 touchdowns. He has all 3 of the receiving touchdowns. 4 catches, only 4 catches, but 3 of them were touchdowns for 107 yards. And overtime, like we said, Mike McCarthy, you idiot. And I hope you hear this, because I will tell you to your face, if you want to come to the Oscar, that was an idiot. That was a bonehead move.
Yeah.
And it cost you.
And you know what, Stevie? I heard, I don't know if it's any true. I didn't see the video, can't see the video. But I heard when Dallas did not get that fourth down, and then when the Green Bay ended up winning, I heard that there was a smile from Mike McCarthy.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
I did. I heard that from 3 different people. And they're on YouTube. They do stuff on YouTube, and they said that. That was a little small smirk when the Green Bay won. Now people are talking about did McCarthy just try to show some love to Green Bay, his previous team. But I know him and Aaron didn't get along.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I know they didn't get along. But still, like, if that's true, I don't know. I can't say. If that's true. That's kind of messed up.
I'm looking. I don't see anything about it, but that's just on Googling it. He explains his controversial overtime decision in loss versus Packers. Doesn't regret choosing to go for it, rather attempt a field goal. We were right on the line for a field goal, McCarthy said via ESPN. Hey, to be honest with you, I thought we needed to go for it. I mean, I called it on second down, especially with the way the game was going. Big play, penalty, big play, penalty, big play, penalty. So our thing was just keep playing. We had good calls. I'm fine with the decision. Obviously, on 4th and 3, just didn't convert. And he
They just
decided to put
shrugged
the
it off.
blame, instead of blaming his play calling for the loss, McCarthy put the blame on the penalties called in overtime on 2 Dallas players. An offsides call on wide receiver Jalen Tolbert and a holding call was on Connor McGovern. So he's going to do
Well,
everything
I
to keep it
mean,
off his stupid play calling.
for sure. So he definitely shrugged it off. And then I did see them plays, but I don't think that made a big difference in that
Oh yeah,
fourth.
yeah. I mean, he threw his helmet down. I mean, his headset down after one of the
Yeah.
calls. He was talking. He was visibly talking to the referees a lot. All right. So we neither one of us picked the Packers. What am I talking about? I did pick the Packers. Right. No, I didn't. Uh,
Yeah.
no, I
So
didn't.
you're trying to get ahead and trying to pretend to
No,
slip.
no, no. We're even. We're
Trying to
gonna
slip.
we're gonna probably. It looks like we're gonna stay. Well,
Yeah, I think so.
no. I think Cardinals and the Rams. I think Matthew picked the Rams
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yep.
and I picked the Cardinals.
I'll let you have
But
that one.
I did that because Stafford was going to be out. But also, we didn't talk about it at the time. I didn't know at the time Kyler Murray was out for the Cardinals. He didn't play. So when I saw that, I was like, oh crap. So, but the battle of the backup quarterbacks, Colt McCoy is a little bit better. 26 for 37, 238 yards and a touchdown. John Walford, you remember John Walford?
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody does. He
No.
played a little bit last year, but yeah, he's the backup quarterback for the Rams. But the Rams lose and a costly loss as my boy Cooper Cup gets hurt, high ankle sprain, and it looks like now he's going to have surgery, so he's going to be out a while. You talk about how long has it been since we had a repeat Super Bowl champion?
3 years, 4 years.
Who was it?
Kansas City won it. Kansas City went.
Kansas City's only won one.
Yeah, but oh, you said the win. I thought you meant
Yeah,
back. Like they went back to back. Like
yeah.
what was it? No, it wasn't Was it Patriots?
It probably was. I'm looking right now. The
Yeah.
last repeat Super. Because the Rams are not going to do it, from
Nah.
what I'm seeing. All right. Which NFL teams have repeated as champions? Of course, Steelers have done it. Yes. Giants ever done that, Matthew?
Continue what you were doing.
The last repeat was New England Patriots from 2003, 2004.
Ooh, I didn't
So,
know it was that long ago.
yes, there's been one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight repeat champions. And guess who's got two of them? The only one with the only one with multiple, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
We're getting
Anyway,
off. We're getting off topic.
yeah, I know we're getting off topic talking about football. We shouldn't be talking about football, but the Cardinals end up getting the win 27-17. And it is what it is with these guys right now. Neither one of these teams, both of them are disappointing. 4-6 for the
Yeah.
Cardinals. The Rams are 3-6. I mean, not looking like a repeat for the Super Bowl this year. All right,
No. They'll be
let's
lucky
go
if they
to it.
make the playoffs.
Yeah, let's go to our Sunday night game, Chargers and the 49ers. And let me tell you what, I'm clapping my hands for the 49ers because you guys know how to use Christian McCaffrey. You got three backs counting Debo that can run the ball at any time, and you can use McCaffrey as a wide receiver too. And he made a definite impact. I mean, his numbers weren't great, but he was making an impact. Got a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. But man, they hold off the Chargers. Chargers didn't second half, just didn't put up much. I
That's
mean,
another team I don't understand. I mean, the Raiders is Raiders, but Chargers, I just feel like they should be doing better.
the only the only AFC West team is the Chiefs right now. That's playing good
Yeah.
ball. They got shut out in the second half. I mean, it was 16-10 Chargers at halftime, and they scored absolutely no point. Then they lose 22-16. Herbert, 196 yards, one TD, one pick. Garoppolo, 240 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. But Chargers, I don't know what to say, bud. 49ers, looks like you're headed in the right direction. You watch out for this 49ers team. We both picked the 49ers. So, Monday Night Football. Oh, it's a definite win. 9-0 for the Eagles. Hold on. Wait a minute. Not so fast. At Philadelphia. And it looked like, honestly, it looked like Hurts and when they came out and scored that first touchdown, they went right down the field. It was like, okay, we're gonna be fine. And then Washington gets Antonio Gibson comes down, scores. Oh, no big deal. We'll score again. They score again, and you're like, okay, this is gonna get out of hand in a little bit. Yeah, it got out of hand when Washington shut down for 3 quarters. The last 3 quarters, the Eagles scored 7 points. They got outscored 25-7 the last 3 quarters of the game. And everybody's going to talk about, oh well, they missed that face mask penalty. Well, I mean, it's not the first penalty that's been missed. You should have been ahead. If you're as good as you say you are, and Washington's not that good, then you should have been ahead.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not going to say I feel for the guy, but because he should have known better. One of the Eagles linemen on a third and long near the end of the game, Taylor Heineke's getting pressure. He just goes down and gives himself up on his knees. And he gives himself up. The referee blows the whistle. And this guy, while he's on his knees from the Eagles, hits Heineke. 15-yard penalty, first down, game over. And, they do have a chance. They start doing the little laterals and all that. And then the lateral gets away from them, and Washington recovers it for a touchdown. And that's the ball game, 32-21. Washington with the win. And, like I said, Taylor Heineke is not going to put up big numbers, 211 yards, no TDs, and an interception. But Brian Robinson has been a real coming on strong for the running game for the Commanders. 26 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, a hard-fought touchdown at that. If you saw him, he's corralled up with his back to the end zone, and he reaches out and goes across the plane with the ball. And Facebook was lit up with Washington fans that night and the next morning
Yeah.
morning. Yeah, I don't blame you. Y'all have fun with it. You might not get this again. But here's the thing now. Does this – because I think now the Eagles have some injuries. Dallas Goedert is going to be out for a while, the tight end. Is this set the Eagles back into a downward spiral? And what about momentum for Washington now? I think
I
you're
mean,
gonna.
I think you're gonna start seeing more from Washington, especially if they keep Heineke in. I just think Heineke is a better
Yeah,
player.
yeah, I think so too, bud. I think they need to keep him in.
I mean, he's not a Super Bowl contendant or nothing, but he moves the ball, and that's really all that matters for Washington.
Right. I agree.
Because they beat Green Bay. They beat Green Bay. Dallas, they couldn't beat them. Well, they could, but they didn't beat them. They beat Philly. And who else did they beat this year? They had two undefeated takedowns this year. Washington did.
Who was the other one? We were just talking about that earlier.
Um,
Who was the other one we were talking about? And if you hadn't asked me, Matthew, I could have told you. Hold on.
they won Minnesota.
They lost to Minnesota. They beat
Yeah.
Tennessee. No, they lost to Tennessee. Excuse me. They beat the Colts. No, that was it. The, they beat Jacksonville first game of the year, so technically they took down an undefeated team then. But
Yeah.
the Bears, the Jaguars, the Packers, the Colts, and the Eagles. Next
Okay.
up,
So yeah.
Houston Texans. They've
Listen,
got
I
two
think Washington will
winnable
win.
games. The next two games are winnable for Washington, and then it'll be your
Yeah.
boys. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Your boys 2 games
Yeah.
in a row for Washington. They get your boys week 13, then week 14 is a bye. Week 15 will be your boys again. Wow.
Hopefully we can get them at least. We'll get them both times. We'll get them.
Okay. Don't
We'll
get
get them.
cocky.
We'll get them at least one time.
All right. So here we go. Week 11 picks. And guys, I'm going to hold this up. We're going to have different ways for you guys to get one of these. You want to win a shirt. And you can see right here. Hold on, let me make sure you can see it. You want to win one of these Final Score shirts. And I'm having a hard time holding it up for you. What do you think? Nice little logo up there. You want to win one of these shirts? Get your picks in. We're gonna have weekly competitions with that. We'll have our posts up there, and also you share and like our Facebook page, and you can do what you want to, but you got to share and like our Facebook page. You'll be eligible to be in a drawing for that win too. But get your picks in like we're doing this week. Me and Matthew are going to pick this week like we always do, and I think I was one up on Matthew this week because of
Yeah, you beat me.
the Cardinals and Rams game. That was a clincher. So let's start off. Thursday night game. Titans and the Packers. I'm interested to see, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I'm picking, and I'm interested to see who you pick, Matthew. And the Titans they're first in the AFC South right now. But I picked the Packers. I think
I did too.
Christian Watson, this may be a start of something here. And they're playing at Green Bay. So, yeah, I picked Green Bay. So you picked Green Bay too. So we're thinking alike there. Okay. Eagles and the Colts.
I said the Eagles.
Yeah. Interested. It's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles respond to this first loss. And this is at Indianapolis. So they're favored by 7. We'll see. Early game, we'll see. Bears and Falcons. Man, this was a tough one to pick here.
It was. I paused so long on this one. My guy that was doing the sheets for me about gave up on me. But I ended up picking the Falcons because they were home.
Okay. I'm going with the Bears. I'm a believer in the Bears now. I think the Bears. I think they've got a stronger team than the Falcons, but we'll see. So we're different on that. Another tough one because I think Matthew Stafford's still in concussion protocol. Cooper Kupp's out. Rams and Saints.
Pick the Rams but it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, I picked the Rams as well. Commanders and Texans. I've got Washington.
I've got Washington.
They're playing and watch this. They're playing at Houston. Watch them lay an egg after that little letdown, that emotional come down off that big win on Monday night. You watch them lay an egg against freaking Texas. I'll be so
Houston.
mad too. Jets and
Yeah,
Patriots.
I got the Jets.
Yep.
I just think Jets are playing better ball.
I know they lost early in the year to the Patriots, but I'm picking the Jets to win this one.
Yeah.
Panthers and Ravens. Good Lord, if the Panthers ever had it in them to beat somebody, I wish they would do the Ravens, but I've got the Ravens winning.
Yeah, me too.
Baker Mayfield, I heard Baker Mayfield might start, is supposedly going to start. So,
I hope so.
Giants and Lions. Woo!
It's gonna be a good game, but the Giants gonna take it. We're gonna
Giants
find
find a way to win. I agree. I got the Giants over the Lions. Bills and the Browns.
I got the Bills.
Yeah, I think even if the Browns were in the game, they find a way to screw it up at the end.
Yeah.
Raiders and the Broncos. Oh, this is a tough one here.
Man, maybe I have too much faith in the Raiders. I just can't seem to not pull for them. I mean, not pick them, especially
Right.
against the Broncos. I said that I'm not gonna put my money on Denver no more, so I stuck with the Raiders.
That's what I did. I put the Raiders, and it was a tough one to come up with, but
Yeah.
I do think there'll be a lot of talk about Josh McDaniels being out if they lose this game.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it should be a conversation. 'Cause there's no reason,
Bengals,
like I said before.
Bengals and Steelers.
I said the Steelers on one sheet.
Yeah, you said throwaway sheet
Yeah, my throwaway sheet. Yeah.
at Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm picking the Steelers. I don't ever not pick the Steelers.
Okay.
Hardly
I
ever.
don't think that's not a bad pick.
We'll
It's really
see.
not.
We'll see. It'll probably come back and bite me in the end. Cowboys and the Vikings. Woo!
That's a tough one, but I think the Vikings are gonna pull it out. They're home.
I've
They're
got the
happy.
Vikings. That may be a letdown game too for them after that big win over Buffalo. And then we got
Very
Sunday
well
night.
could be.
Is this the second week in a row on Sunday night for the Chargers? Yeah. Kansas
Yeah, it
City.
is. They played last Sunday.
Kansas City and the Chargers. I got the Chiefs winning here.
I got the Chiefs.
And then the Monday night game, 49ers and Cardinals.
We got the Niners.
Yep. So the only two we differed on was Falcons and Bears and Steelers and Bengals. So you'll be a Falcon and Bengal fan for sure this week.
Yeah, right.
All
I
right.
just circled them. That's it.
I just picked the ones. I just picked the ones with the pretty jerseys.
I couldn't circle or so.
Okay. So, like we said, guys, you want one of these T-shirts, and Matthew was nice enough to donate these T-shirts because thank you, Matthew. You want one of these T-shirts, free T-shirt. Get your picks in. I will be making a post about sharing and liking our Facebook page. Do that, and you'll be eligible for a drawing. And we'll pick. You don't have to do anything. But guys, I've got a bunch of T-shirts over here I can give away for the picks. So get your picks in. We want you to follow us on Facebook, share our Facebook page. The more likes we get, the better. Check us out on our podcast. A podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those places you find your podcast at, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And like I said, you want a free T-shirt. I mean, how many times do you get? I love a T-shirt. I'm liable to keep all these for myself right over here if you guys don't want them. But I don't think Matthew would be happy about that. Yeah,
No, if they don't put their picks in to work, go ahead and have them.
I'm
They
gonna
need
I'm
to
gonna
get their
wear.
picks in.
I will be wearing my final score shirt next week. Show it off. Maybe that'll be
Oh yeah,
me modeling it. Will be enough for everybody to want to get in their picks. All right,
and I'm telling y'all, if y'all want y'all's wife to love you again, get y'all a T-shirt.
Mallory, my daughter Mallory is already commenting up here. I want a shirt. So yeah, we'll see about that. We'll get you a shirt.
Get your
Anyway,
picks in, Mallory.
get your picks in. Yeah, hey
Yep,
Mallory, if you're the only one that puts your pick in, your NFL picks in, then you win. So you get you a
that's
shirt.
right.
So
It don't matter if you lose every pick you
if
got.
you lose
You
it,
still
you
got a
can't
T-shirt.
go wrong. If you're the only one, you win.
That's right.
All right.
You get to walk in hometown nutrition with your
Yeah.
final score T-shirt on.
Yeah. We're gonna bust into hometown nutrition Friday with our final score shirts on. And people will be
Yeah,
asking, what's the final score? And we'll tell them. How do you do that? You go to our Facebook page and you look at the NFL week 11 games and you just pick a team that you think is going to win from each game. You pick a team to win. I'll explain it to you later. If we'll get you through it, Mallory, if you want to do it. All right.
yeah.
Any last words, Matthew, before we get out of here for this week?
Go Giants.
Go Giants. Go
Thank y'all
Giants.
for
Yeah, I mean
listening.
you gotta love the Giants though. That's a good story this year. There's a lot of good stories this year. But
It is. It is.
all right. Last words for me, go Steelers. Go Pirates. Go Boo Ravens. So
I'm sorry,
anyway,
you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit.
which part was it?
The first, whatever you said the first time, ghost something.
I know you didn't hear that, right? Whatever.
Yeah, it just broke up on
That's
my
why
end.
I was trying to see if you would go ahead and say it. The part where you said go Steelers, you were breaking up. So
Yeah.
anyway, guys, we're going to try to be here next week if we can work out of time. Next week, of course, is Thanksgiving. If we're not here next week, we hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving, and hope you have enjoyed the time with your families. Matthew, we will try to be here next week for some so I can tell Matthew I beat him again this week. Um,
That's right. Well, I'll definitely be here whenever you need me.
yeah. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this week. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the final score.